Hey, Keepers, what do you say? What do you know? This is Keeper coming at you from the man cave. Well, no, not really the man cave, the garage, man. But, man, I really love having my stuff in the garage. And it's probably, I say this every time I do a video from here, but it's nice having my live rig set up like this. But, hey, I was talking to some of my friends and some of my subscribers and some of the people that are on my keyboard chat group, and they all seem to think that my wife should get some type of award for being married to me. And so I think maybe that's true because I'm not normal. I've never been normal. I'm the type of guy that would think maybe like putting rubbers on termites that don't screw up the wood would be a great idea. That's some of the stuff I think of. And but that's neither here or there. But I got something that I've been getting questions about. And a little disclaimer: this is a serious video, all right? Because I have jacked you guys off a couple of times. Like I think the one video I made, I think I called it "Getting the Right Levels on Your Keyboards," and I do this long talk and I say how important it is to have the right level. Then I break out levels and look, yeah, this is a good keyboard level, and I got a bunch of you on that. Then the what was it? The TL33 MIDI spatula by Korg. And by the way, my wife wants her spatula back. She's been bitching. And so I'm going to have to undo the TL33 for Carol to have her spatula back. And in actually all honesty, she's not supposed to be using the spatula on the certain pans we have. So maybe I'm just going to keep the TL33 and just keep that. But so, because we have a lot of those good pans of special coating that she scratched the hell out of and stuff like that. There's a little Rocky everywhere I go. He's here. So, okay, what we're going to talk about is mixers. Okay, back in the 70s, keyboard players, we used to use whatever we could find. If an amplifier had 2 channels, it would stick 2 keyboards in there, or would make a Y box where you could fit more stuff into the 2 channels. And then we started using PA heads like the Shure Vocal Master or the Customs, because they'd have 4 to 8 channels. And then I remember I had a custom PA 150. It had 4 channels. It had 2 columns on it, but they were like the shorter columns, and that was pretty cool. And but mixers, well, when you use your mixer, you have an attenuation, and there's a certain procedure you have to use to set up that mixer. All right, so I'm gonna drag the camera. Hopefully, I can get it over here. And we'll talk about the mixer in detail. So let me get this over here, and got to move the little stool and stick this turkey here. All right, and this might work. And then give me some zoomage. Okay. It's about the best I can do. So, alrighty. And here we go. Now this is kind of important. And at one time I didn't know. I just thought, a mixer, you just put your shit in it and turn it on and just run it and adjust your tones and all this stuff, and but I didn't really know about how to set a mixer up, and there's a certain procedure. And basically what you want to do is Now this very top knob, that's called a trim knob or an attenuator. Alright, now over here where you have your master gain, they say your master gain should be set at 0. And they call that infinity, alright? So you want to set that at 0. And then technically you're supposed to put your channel gain up at 0. Alright? And then your trim knob, you're supposed to adjust that to where it just barely blinks. Alright, now technically that's set up for spec, alright? But you drop that down because that's pretty damn loud. Alright, but that's basically how you set your attenuation up. And that's technically right. Alright? And you want that light to barely blink. If you notice, it was blinking a little bit, but that's good. Then if you look over here on your main meter, we're pretty good. That's also some people, like if you don't have the clip light, they say that if you're just using a meter, you just barely want it to blink in the red, and I don't know, because usually if I follow that routine, my gain would be so loud. But each mixer has a different personality on it, okay? But that's basically the way you set your attenuation or trim up, all right? And then also you have a dB. If the scent coming out of your keyboard is too hot, some of the boards will have a dB button, which will bring it. Well, that brings it up in this case, so I guess maybe off is pad down, or pad on, and, or, I like it. It sounds better in. I like that down. That's better that way. So everything varies on the board. Okay, if you look over here in this section, you're going to see. I'll drop the volume here, and you'll see that you have on the main outs, you have the XLRs and the 1/4 inch, all right? And also on the 1/4 inch it says balance / unbalanced. And you know what, give me a second, I'm gonna grab a balance cable. Well, this sucks. They're all in use. But basically, what they are is, well, here, I could show you this way. This is a mini phone jack, all right? And, but picture this as 1/4 inch, okay? You have what's called ring, tip, sleeve, all right? So, Picture this in 1/4 inch, all right, ring tip sleeve. And that's what's called a balanced cable, all right. And but if you could use the XLRs, I like those better, okay. And then another thing is, if you look on your outputs, then you'll see, like, this board has a monitor out, all right, and an FX send. Now this FX send most likely would be ring tip sleeve, so you could use a cable to that, and that will they're called insert cables. And if you use an insert cable, we'll plug into their ring tip sleeve, and then we'll have 2 1/4 inch jacks at the other end, where you could have an in and out, where you could run additional effects on that. All right, and then you have control room out. All right, which is like basically a separate circuit, and over here you have a control room volume knob. Now a good example would be is if you're recording in this mixer, so you come out of the mixer left and right into a Tascam recorder, or into your computer, because this is a USB mixer. If you're going into your computer, so you could record into this, but you could use the control room to play through a separate bunch of speakers. So like if you have a pair of studio monitors, near field monitors, these are flat monitors. They're set up to sound flat. And basically what I mean by flat is basically on your tone, your highs, mids, and lows are just flat. You know what I mean? No positive or no negative gain. All right. And so when you do your playback, you can play back through your control room circuit. All right. So that's what that is. That's really good for recording. And then this also has a monitor circuit. And so you could come out of this into separate speakers. Then you would use these green knobs for the volume of your monitors. All right. And but also you could also use, and these are called auxiliary. You could also use these auxiliary knobs for additional effects unit. As you can tell, this already has an effects unit built into it, but if you wanted to add like another one, then these green knobs would control that, and the orange knobs would control the built-in effects unit. All right. Then also, if you look here, you have an effects slider. This is the amount of effects you're going to add. All right. In this particular Mac, he has a subgroup on that. And a good example for a subgroup, we'll just say this slider is a Leslie bottom with a microphone on it. Okay, so you're miking the bottom of the Leslie. Okay, and this slider is the Leslie top. So you're miking the top of the Leslie, all right? And then say if you got these right where you like it, all right? And so if you wanted to turn them up or down, then you'd have to kind of keep the same position and just move them up and down. But if you assigned them to a subgroup, all right, just by hitting this button here and this button here, now it's assigned to this slider, all right? So you have this set here, and if you want to bump up the volume, you just use this subgroup, and this will just move these two sliders technically, okay? And so that's basically what your subs are, or your subgroup, all right? And this is your main, and I believe we covered everything on the mixer. But the key thing is, the headphones. You got a headphone volume on this, all right? And also what's really cool is now on this mixer, your main volume set up, all right? You can mute all your channels, all right? And alright, and so you can mute those. But another cool thing is what they also have on your control room circuit. If you want to, you can actually mute the control room circuit by hitting this button. Alright? And then basically this mutes everything. Alright? So that's really cool. And then also, this button here is if you wanted to send your headphones to the control room circuit, then you hit this button in, and now your headphones are in the control room circuit. And so then you can even send your effects to control room and or monitor, all right? And these green knobs will do that, all right? So there's a lot of different things these do. Also, you have inserts on this, so this will turn your inserts off and on, and there's probably more than this does. You just have to read the book. And also, this is a USB mixer, and yeah, this is a knob for USB. It's called a blend knob, all right? And then there's also another switch on here for USB, but I don't see it right now. But I really don't know. I guess if you have a DAW, maybe that's what you would use USB on a mixer. I don't know what you would use USB on a mixer. Would it maybe upgrade firmware on the mixer? I don't know. If you guys know, feel free to comment on that, because I don't know about that. But a lot of mixers I have do have USB. I think I own 6 mixers, and out of the 6, I think 4 are USB. All right. So, but I just don't use them that way. Okay. But that's basically it for the mixer, getting to know it and everything. Oh, another thing too is let's see if I can set this up. What did I do here? Oh, I broke everything. Okay, let me find something here. Okay, 15. Okay, and what we're gonna do is turn these up, the effect sliders up, and oh, I'm on the wrong up, sorry. Okay, now let me bring this into a sound here. Okay, now with this off, now with the effects up, what's really cool is, say if you got this effects tuned in, alright, and then if you go, you know what, I do have a foot switch. I don't know whether this one will work or not, but if you plug this into foot switch here, yeah, it will work, okay, but it's a latch. That means when you push the button down, it clicks. It's not a momentary switch. It's a latching switch. So that'd be really cool, is if you want to do like a, say if you're doing, here, let me set this up. Okay, combi. Okay. Okay, you got organ going on. All right, so you can mess around with that, and that'd be pretty cool to use that in conjunction with some of your stuff. And because usually all your keyboards already have their own effects on it, but what the hell, you got a slapback built into the thing. And by using your effects slider, you can kind of control the amount. The kill the foot switch, and there you are. So if you have that, that's something you might want to consider. Also, 22 auto wall. Wonder what that does. Let's check it out. See how good it is. Pretty cool. So you know what? You might need those extra effects. So it's nice to have them, and at the same time you got the foot switch hooked up, and so really cool. I think I'm gonna mess around with that and come up with different stuff. And what's cool is you could put them on whatever keyboards you want. You know what I mean? Because all you got to do is turn up the knob, and that will add it. You see, all these are turned down, and just on the Chrome EX73, it's turned up. All right. So, a lot of cool stuff on these boards. And if you're anything like me, maybe you just figured out your mixer. I'll just plug my shit into it. But you know what? If you take a look around and see what's on it, this even has that transformer for 48 volt mic, and well, that's noisy, ain't it? Let's kick that out of there. And oh, you even got enough so you could let's see. Where's that? Yeah, and you even have an FX mute. So if you don't want to use any effects on one time, just hit that button. Alright, so I think I covered everything on the mixer. I hope you guys enjoyed this and have some more knowledge, man. Knowledge is key. Okay, guys, God bless. See ya when I see ya.